Ladies and gentlemen, literally, the next generation of business education has arrived.
This guy is building a university with no grades, no exams, no classrooms, no attendance, and no books. What is this school?
Hi, my name is Pratham and I'm the founder of Tetr. And at my business school, students travel to 7 different countries to get a degree.
Yes, he got rid of the classroom and put students on a plane to learn business in 7 countries. In New York, in Singapore, in Milan, and here in Dubai. Keep watching. By the end, he will give you a scholarship. Travel, build a business, make money. That's every student's dream. Pratham was a top student at one of the best American universities. But after 4 years, he realized
That I forgot most of what I learned.
he was taking class after class, sitting on a chair, looking at a professor.
This is the old way of learning from the 1800s. But we learn by doing, not by sitting in lectures.
So he hired a team to build a radical new university. They call it
Tetr.
And it works like this. Every 4 months, the entire class travels to a new country. They become temporary students in the best local university and start a real business. In Dubai, they build an e-commerce business, an AI business in San Francisco, a sustainable venture in Rio, a YouTube business in Madrid, an NGO in Ghana, a community-driven business in Singapore, and a consumer brand in New Delhi.
That's how education should be. Global, practical, and fun.
And in every country, Tetr signed a deal with the best university to teach students, like IIT in India, NUS in Singapore, and Bocconi in Milan.
This way, you get the best of both worlds. A world-class education that is practical.
After 4 years, students do not get an A, B, or C, they get R, C, and P. Revenue, costs, and profit. A real business.
On average, students end up building a business with a revenue of almost $20,000 with a profit of $5,000.
This is the first school in the world of this kind. It's globally accredited, you get a bachelor's degree, and it costs over $200,000. But here is the best part. He is giving the first 60 students 100% free scholarship, 100% free education for 4 years to build 7 businesses in 7 different campuses around the world and even spend summer break at Everest Base Camp.
We are looking for the 60 best high school students in the world to set the tone for Tetr. We will invest in you. All you have to do is apply here.
I am so excited by this school that I convinced him to give me 2 student scholarships. If you are a high school student, all you have to do is apply here and you can get a full 4-year scholarship worth $400,000. Trust me, this can change your life.
I couldn't be more excited. I can literally see the future of education unfolding right in front of me.
In most schools, you learn by listening. But here, you learn by doing, traveling, building, and exploring at the same time. Now this is how education should be. Good luck, man. This is exciting.
You should come teach.
Maybe. I'm actually so excited about this that my younger brother may become one of his students. This is exactly what my younger brother was looking for, and he finally built it. Something that's not in a classroom, something about business and entrepreneurship, and it finally exists.
Now this is actually just insane. I'm literally just gonna say straight up, I am blown away completely by Tetr, mainly because I have never seen anything like this before, and I'm pretty shocked that such things actually exist, and I'm pretty happy that I found out. And I just want to talk about like a really funny story of how I found out. It was actually from one of my friends in school called Tony, and if you're watching, I just really want to thank you for, you know, telling me about Tetr. I remember we were, I think, in lunch, or we were walking up the stairs, and you were like, hey Bosco, I think you're actually going to be very interested in Tetr, this university. And I'm like, oh, it's probably, you know, another one of those business majors, right? Another one of those, you know, comp sci majors from Wharton, MIT, something similar along the lines. But, you know, you get to travel just here and there, and really nothing entrepreneurship related. And I didn't know that Tetr was actually a program where you could literally travel to 8 different places and literally learn like 8 different business models, and all these business models are directly, you know, contributing to entrepreneurship, and you could really truly find out what you actually like after that 8 terms, which I feel like it's a very important part of university, is to actually have like a solidifying idea of what you actually want to do when you go out, right? Because university is supposed to be a place where you can explore, where you can network with, you know, similar minded people. And I personally believe that on one hand, you know, there's this whole excitement with Tetr, but on the other hand, I can see how people are still questioning about the authority of, you know, comparing with, you know, traditional universities. I guess one of the main questions is asking, is a degree really going to be valuable? And obviously, when you have a look at the website, these courses are taught by, you know, top schools, universities, such as from MIT, from Wharton, from Stanford, from Cornell, and they obviously also partner with, you know, different schools, different top schools specifically. But is this degree actually going to be recognized in the first place? I guess that's going to be one of the main concerns with, you know, many people when they kind of apply to this university, which is actually pretty new. But overall, you know, in a personal sense, I am actually very interested in, you know, applying this university. I think that in the future, there's definitely going to be more of similar university or similar course options, which allows us entrepreneurs to be able to really attend university and, you know, study the things that are required in order to be a successful businessman or join a successful startup, if you get what I mean. Because traditional universities right now, as you probably know, are more traditional, and they're for people who wants to go into professional fields such as the law field, the medical field. Not saying that they're bad or anything, but not everyone really wants to stick to that path for 35 to 40 years and really have like a stable life. But some people want to, you know, have like a more riskier life where they can have adventures, where they can network, where they can actually build something that they actually really want and have a startup. And I feel like Tetr is for sure a very good university option for students looking forward into this field. Actually, one little thing is that Tetr is only accepting 100 cohorts for, you know, the first cohort, which I've seen in the website. So I think it's going to be really competitive, especially when so many people want to go into the entrepreneurship field, and really the acceptance rates or admissions rate really can't be justified because it's a new program. So there's still obviously questions to be answered. So now let's actually watch another video, which is actually from Tetr themselves, where professors actually explain specifically, you know, what they teach and the environment inside, and, you know, the entire course layout in more specific details.
New term, new country, new business, new experience.
Tetr is quite revolutionary in its approach to business education. It goes beyond traditional exams, lectures, slides, grades, books, and attendance.
At Tetr, we believe in learning by doing. We believe that building a business is the best way to learn business. So in each term, students actually build a real business. In the first term, it's building an e-commerce business. In the second term, it's building a content business. In the third term, it's building a technology business.
The grades are coming from real revenue, customer satisfaction, and not just an exam that you can memorize. The twist in this case, however, is students are building a new business in a different city, in a different country, from Dubai to Paris, to China, to United States. And that is the difference to have a truly global exposure.
So the immersion in Tetr is so varied, from high-tech factories in China to very cutting-edge auto factories in Germany, and going to AI discussions in Silicon Valley with the various CEOs, then coming to Africa to discuss in Ghana what African consumer behavior is.
Learning by doing is a foundational principle of Tetr. Instead of taking legacy courses like Accounting 101, at Tetr you take workshops like how to read a balance sheet, or how to raise funds during an IPO. They're led by industry practitioners, hence are focused on a lot more applied learning and not just theory.
For some critical courses, we've partnered with some of the leading universities of the world, like IIT, Columbia, Bocconi,
INSEAD, NUS, and many more.
Each school offers a different format. And just like in sports, you need coaches. You have a KPMG partner to help you with investment banking. You have an Apple executive to help you through marketing technology.
At Tetr, I'll be teaching a course called The Arts of Communication that focuses on various different forms of verbal communication.
At Tetr, I plan to be focusing on bringing that experiential knowledge of my work at IBM and the work that we did early days with Stanford.
I am Manoj Kohli. I have 45 years experience in various companies like CEO of Airtel, country head of SoftBank. I'll be teaching digital technology at Tetr.
Hi, I'm Kevin Eva Norton. At Tetr, I'll be teaching behavioral design and gamification.
My name is Ed Rogers, and I was in CKO at NASA for 17 years. I wrote over 75 case studies, helped NASA learn from their missions. I'm excited now to bring this experience and insight to Tetr in a course called Managing Complexity.
The class I'll be teaching at Tetr is building and managing high-performing teams.
My name is Dan Vandervliet. I'm the John and Diane Smith Executive Director of Family Business at Cornell University. The course I teach is Strategic Family Business Management.
You should be able to airdrop any Tetr graduate in any place in the world, and I'm sure they'll bring about positive change.
I have frankly, in my academic experience, never heard anything of this kind ever.
Okay, now this is actually a very interesting point. I guess like the main takeaway or the main thing that really like come up in my mind is the grading system. They're grading it based on the revenue and the customer satisfaction of your product. Imagine a scenario where you are unable to generate revenue for a particular reason. Like, will you fail the course, I guess? Or like, you know, what will specifically happen? I guess that's something still to, you know, figure out, do more research on. If the entire grading system is based on the revenue generated, I'm very assuming that the entire course, you know, qualification or the application process will be very strict. And yeah, it's just really interesting, you know, moving away from, you know, the local grading system and moving into the grading system where revenue and customer satisfaction and these external factors are really the main grading metrics. And I guess this is also pretty new, as this literal video that we're watching came out just about 1 month ago. So I guess there's still tweaks here and there. So I'm very excited to see how this progresses. So let's actually switch over to the website and have a look at greater details of, you know, the entire course and entire process. All right, guys. So now let's dive into, you know, the Tetr College of Business, their official website, and as well as, you know, looking for details. And I've also spent some time looking at other articles and trying to find as much information as possible with Tetr. So yeah, let's just dive straight into it. So as you can see, when we go to the homepage, it starts off with, you know, their motif there, and then you can see that the eligibility is class of grade 12. So you still need to basically pass your high school diploma in order to, you know, join the university. I mean, that shouldn't be something surprising, but, you know, I thought there's going to be a traditional twist, if you got me, for people who are, you know, not yet finished their high school diploma and still being able to, you know, join this university if they are, you know, smart enough or they show, you know, passion in this. But yeah, let's just go straight into, you know, what the bachelor program in management technology offers. And I think if we have a look at it right now, they do offer 3 courses, but one is undergrad, one is master's, and one of is another executive management program, which I believe is for, you know, CEOs and stuff. So in terms of undergrad, there's only 1 program right now, and probably they're going to be expanding on that. But this program actually looks amazing. As you can see, you know, we're going to be going to Dubai for the first term, learning how to do e-com, and obviously you have your details here of specifically what you'll be learning, as well as cultural immersions, which I think is a very important part of university. And you can see we're going to also be going to New Delhi for IT. I'm partnering campus business immersions. And this summer, Everest base camp is actually something really exciting. It's something that I'm probably, you know, looking forward to, no matter if I do it, you know, with Tetr or like personally. But like just having this, you know, challenge there and being able to have like a community bond with different cohorts in Tetr is for sure going to be like a memorable experience. Obviously, we're going to be going to Singapore afterwards. And with all of these, like, you learn different things. So like this one, you're learning how to launch a consumer brand. This one, you're learning how to use a Kickstarter campaign, which is actually pretty interesting, because I feel like the most important thing with all of these universities is just to find out, again, what you're good at, right? Because business is so broad, but like finding out if you like to, do e-commerce brand, or if you like to do B2B marketing can be like a different field, and it can really be different for each individual. Obviously, this NGO one is also something that I'm personally very interested in, especially in building, a more sustainable world and contributing. I think this is actually a really good part of their program. You can see if you just continue moving forward, you get to do tech startups, and I think you get to go to Google as well. It's all about the networking, right? And I feel like this entire networking is also very strong. And if you compare it to, like Stanford or like MIT networking, I think you're probably able to get, similar level, as they are also partners with, multiple different institutions. And you also get to, do interns in these bigger companies, which I feel like it's kind of like a similar experience, obviously. And you get to travel around the world. So I guess that's one of the biggest things with many people, is that you get to immerse in different culture, and you get to do this while also learning, right? And that's, I think, one of the most valuable things about Tetr program here. It's actually very interesting, especially this YouTube channel one. Like, imagine like just having a term where you can just focus on grinding out your YouTube channel, like, just making videos like this every single day, and you have coaches specifically teach you. Like, how cool will that be, right? And obviously, with this entire program being something pretty new, I think they're only accepting like 100 applicants. I mean, they're only accepting like 100 people for the first cohort, which I've read somewhere, but we can slowly look through. So here are, all of the different topics that you're going to be learning. Yeah, I really love this motive, especially, learn, apply, reflect, repeat. It's just like any marketing, right? Like, just literally like running my own marketing campaigns. You literally learn something, you test something, and then you analyze it. And obviously you iterate based on, the positive feedback loops, and based on whatever results you get. And here's like a example class schedule. It actually looks very interesting. It doesn't actually feel like you're going to school, but like it's just a complete different world, if you get what I mean. If you just have a look at, the class schedules here. Even the Saturdays and Sundays looks pretty fun. Like, literally every single day looks very fun, especially if you're like interested in these things. Obviously, that's going to be number one key. And obviously you have your professors here, very key. From Harvard, from Cornell, MIT, all of these guys are all, qualified. So you have your usual university professors here. And then you have a list of your opportunities. And I like how they list out, how like there's 3 main paths for people who wants to go in to this school. Is number one, they could get like a profession in like big companies like McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Google. And also it's also for people who wants to have their own startup and build their own startup, right? And be an entrepreneur. Because obviously you get to be funded, which I read from somewhere, but you get to have, networking, you get to go to partner events, you get to, fund your business ideas to investors, which is something I think very valuable. And this admission process is actually really interesting. I think, schools will also probably adapt to this later down the line. You can see Tetr trial and an AI powered assessment. And if we switch over, I know we're kind of like jumping all over the place, but we switch over to one of the articles which I read, you can see here like explaining more of the Tetr trial is like a gamified assessment where skills like multitasking, resource management, people skills, moral and ethical responsibilities, etc. are tested through these games and cases, which I think is something pretty interesting and something pretty worth, especially if you're going to be, some kind of, get rid of the ad, some kind of CEO or some kind of, top position. If you're going to be like the CMO, you need to learn how to manage people. You need to learn these crucial skills, and if you're tested throughout the games, it will really show if you are eligible or if you fit this position, right? 45-minute exam comprising of 4 sessions. Critical reasoning, quantitative aptitude, reading comprehension, gamified test. So this actually sounds really interesting. Actually never done before as well. Obviously here is more details of specifically. You can have a look here and pause the video, specifically, what will be in the application process, which will be interesting. And obviously I think, like heading back to the program, it probably will change after the first cohort because, we're obviously adapting, right? Every single startup or any single business idea, they always like to launch it first and obviously adapt based on the first cohort, based on feedback. So maybe 1 year later, if you're going to be watching this video, it's probably different, but this is as to May 2024. See the fee structures here. It's actually pretty challenging if you're like looking just at the fee structures of this school, but I will compare it to, more premium courses like Wharton, and I'm just gonna like put like a number on the screen from like one of their databases, and basically it's kind of like 3 times less the cost. And I don't think we should be comparing based on the cost, since, you know, there are different things that makes up the entire cost, right? But I guess this is something everyone has to take into consideration, especially when you're traveling around 8 different cities. Like, how it's obviously you're gonna know that it's still going to be worth something, right? When literally there's gonna be professors teaching you in the college. So obviously there's a whole lot of scholarships here, application deadlines, and then there's questions here. Yeah, you can have a look at this entire website yourself. Yeah, and if I have also read clearly from another article, we can see that, you know, the networking is going to be pretty strong. And also there's actually a requirement. There's actually like a SAT requirement. So this school actually welcomes top SAT scores, the top 1%, and those who turn down offers from prestigious universities. So you can see that with 100 spots, right? Obviously, this is still going to be a very competitive university. It's not some kind of, you know, like Iman Gaji educate course where it's like $15 and everyone can get access to it. This is still a university where literally there's still an admission process, and you still have to go through, you know, all of the qualifications in order to be able to get in. So it's not some kind of, you know, scammy thing which, you know, many people, especially in the entrepreneurship space, have, you know, experienced over the past, I don't know, like couple of years. So many different info courses coming out. So I guess this is just something to take note of. All in all, guys, do I think that this is something probably worth, you know, applying towards? 100%. I believe that if you are really passionate about entrepreneurship, or just, you know, building a business, or just, you know, participating in a startup company, it's 100% valuable and worth the effort to, you know, submit the application and see what happens. And obviously there are only 100 spots in the first cohort, so you should be expecting some sort of competitiveness throughout and amongst, you know, the people who are signing up, especially when the class size is so small and this whole entire program is so compelling and it's something that's never done before. But do I think down the years there will be more opportunities and more universities like just like this? It's definitely going to be a yes, because if Tetr is able to prove that this degree and this, you know, entire program just works, then more people in the world will literally build similar universities, and then obviously it's going to become a good competitor against top universities like Stanford, MIT, and Wharton. And it'll be a very interesting to see how this entire university and entire education shifts as we revolutionize ourselves into the tech and AI world. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do share this Tetr information session to all of your other business friends, because I'm pretty sure they're going to be as surprised as I am and as you are that such college actually exists, and such revolution, as we all say, right, is literally coming over to take over the world and literally provide a bright path for people who really want to pursue business and entrepreneurship. So yeah, until next time, peace out.